As Eid Kabir celebration gathers momentum, President Muhammadu Buhari calls on Nigerians to exercise patience and understanding over the inconveniences created by precautionary measures on places of worship.
People to stay where they are and celebrate their Eid al-Kabir.
Preparation for Muslims nationwide reach advanced stage. Travelers in various parks as ram sellers and buyers also make last-minute transactions.
Already we have mapped out our own operation order. Everybody has been allocated his own beat, and we are going to make sure that we follow the operation order to the letter.
A full-scale investigation into gruesome killings of 14 people in Kogi State. A very good evening and welcome to Network News on the NTA, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, and Barakada Salah in advance. I am Kenan Ima Abodikim. Reading with me tonight from our Lagos zone is Michael Olaleye. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on Nigerians to continue to exercise patience and understanding over the inconveniences created by precautionary measures taken for COVID-19, especially the regulations on places of worship. In his solemn message to Muslims on the occasion of Eid al-Kabir celebration, President Buhari said the outbreak of coronavirus has made it difficult for people to gather in places of worship as they are used to, urging worshippers to abide by the guidelines for safety of their lives and loved ones. President Buhari commended the sacrifices of Muslims and Christians in abiding by the COVID-19 guidelines for the good of society, assuring that the administration will continue to provide economic reliefs to the people. President Buhari reminded worshippers that COVID-19 is a worldwide affliction with churches and mosques closed around the world, while social distancing has been imposed to safeguard public health. The president called on worshippers not to forget the symbolic significance of sacrifices of Eid al-Kabir. He also reminded Nigerians of his efforts to root out corruption in the country, stating that the efforts has so far brought a lot of changes in the country's polity. He appealed for more support and understanding as investigations are carried out on both legacy and fresh cases. The trial of Prophet Abraham to the will of Allah and devotion to slaughter his son Ishmael centuries ago set the stage for the spiritual and historical significance of Feast of Sacrifice, also known as Eid al-Adha. From Lafia, Aliyu Tijani Muhammad puts the conversation in context of greater Eid significance in Zu al-Hijjah, the last lunar month of Islamic calendar.
Sacrifice is fundamental for the celebration of Eid al-Kabir. The celebration of the sacrifice is the culmination of pilgrimage as one of Islam's 5 pillars on the 9th of Dhul-Hajj. In the Holy Quran, a simple conversation between father and son, united in strong belief to the will of Allah, admonish humanity on devotion and sacrifice.
Submissive to the will of Allah. You must be submissive, just like Ismail was so submissive to his father.
These are lessons Aliyu Tanko and others we came across at the Lafia Ram market say will remain evergreen.
And it teaches us how to love ourselves and love our brothers and sisters.
Has to do with sacrifice in order to seek for Allah's forgiveness. By living in harmony, by bringing one another together so that we can all live peacefully in the country.
Similarly, Eid prayer in open grounds like this in Lafia may not hold as the faithful are expected to converge on mosque for the spiritual exercise.
People must be on their face mask, observe physical or social distancing, observe all the protocols associated with COVID-19.
Eid al-Kabir for spiritual benefit in the life of this world and hereafter. In Lafia, Aliyu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
With the Eid al-Kabir celebration just few hours away, prayers and messages of hope for Muslim faithful amidst containment of COVID-19 have been pouring in from different quarters. Elizabeth Omori compiled the Salah messages.
President of the Senate Hamid Lawan felicitates with all Nigerians and in particular the Muslim Ummah on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Kabir. Senator Lawan, in a statement, noted that Eid al-Kabir, Islam's feast of sacrifice, is very significant to Muslim faith as it is a reminder of the imperative of unconditional obedience to Allah, the most merciful. He urged Nigerians to continue to seek the face of the Almighty, especially in the fight against COVID-19, as the National Assembly is collaborating with the executive in response to the pandemic and other legislative interventions. Similarly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged Muslims to rededicate themselves to their Creator and pray for the country during the period of Eid al-Kabir. Gbajabiamila says there is need for prayers even more pressing at this time that the coronavirus pandemic is ravaging the world, including Nigeria. The speaker said, with fervent prayers, Nigeria will be able to surmount the numerous challenges bedeviling the country, including insecurity. In the same vein, the IGP, while assuring Nigerians of adequate security, congratulates the Muslim faithful in the country as they join other Muslims across the world to celebrate this year's Eid al-Kabir festival. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has directed all the Commissioners of Police and Assistant Inspectors General of Police in the 17 zonal commands to intensify confidence, building patrols in all nooks and crannies of the country, particularly on major highways and around critical national infrastructure. The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Boboye Oyemi, has urged Muslims to adhere to the health.
All is now set for the observance of Eid al-Adha to Raka prayer tomorrow at the National Mosque, Abuja. The Eid prayer, which is usually observed at the National Eid ground, was moved to the National Mosque in adherence to the COVID-19 protocols. Eliasu Yakubu brings us situation report from both the National Eid ground and mosque.
It is 11:30 Thursday morning on the 9th of Zulhijjah 1441 after the Hijrah, equivalent to 30th July 2020, here at the National Eid ground in Abuja. Usually on a day like this, the management committee of this field will be in a race with time by now with the intent to put final touches to the place and have it ready for tomorrow's 2 Rakah Eid prayer. But the coronavirus would not have it. However, there is respite for worshippers, especially with the Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, directing Muslim faithful to observe the 2 Rakah prayer at Juma Mosque in their communities. The National Mosque is blazing the trail in adherence to this directive, and management has gone a step further to say that the open space will be available for use by worshippers to allow for social distancing, with the exception of the indoor hall. Dr. Kabir Adam is one of the imams of the National Mosque.
We abide by the directives of the federal government concerning the social distancing and to avoid gathering people in a place where this social distancing will be very, very difficult. So that is why we are not doing the Eid ground at the normal Eid ground along the airport road. We come back here to the National Mosque premises, and this is where we are going to do it. And inshallah, all the protocols of NCDC will be observed, inshallah.
Iliasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Traffic and security arrangements for Salah in Lagos. Let's join Michael Olaleye in Lagos for more details. Michael?
Thank you, Kene. Unlike other days this week, the roads in Lagos are devoid of the usual traffic that has characterized movements within the metropolis. Dr. Ogunyemi, who monitored the situation, reports that the police have strategies in place to ensure a each free Eid al-Kabir celebration.
It is a public holiday And the roads are a clear reflection of this. Fewer cars are on the roads as Muslim faithful are celebrating at home due to the ban on religious gatherings and relaxation centers as a means of curbing the spread of COVID-19.
I'm coming from our road. So at least it took me up to 10 minutes.
On a normal day?
On a normal day, as on working days. It will take me more than 1 hour.
No, there was a traffic coming to TBS.
I just came back from an inspection of all the alternative routes now. I know we are having major problems around the stadium and the Costain axis. The traffic is heavy, quite heavy.
And while residents are forced to celebrate at home, the police are out to ensure that lives and property are well protected during the festivities.
We are not on holidays. So you realize that just about 72 hours ago now, so we have the Tomiland Bridge now, we have been on. So that one shall continue. So we deploy more than enough personnel. Even yesterday, we have to add more to the personnel after reviewing it after 48 hours. So with this one now, we employ every member of the public now to go about their level celebration.
It's been a well-planned out strategy to meet up with the challenges of the high traffic volume that we are going to encounter this festive period.
The Lagos State government has also urged residents to be modest in their celebrations and continue to observe prescribed protocol towards defeating COVID-19. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
And on to product launch. Many countries have banned exportation of personal protective equipment like face masks, hand gloves, among others, to prevent shortage of supply. Nigerians no longer have to worry about that with the launch of Transgreen Nigeria Limited, an indigenous company that produces the medical equipment in large quantity in Lagos. Hingino John Adams reports that the company has unveiled its first product, OK Medical Face Mask.
Sited at the heart of Amua Dolphin in Lagos is a treasure, a face mask factory built according to the World Health Organization standard. It is the first certified and registered medical face mask factory in Nigeria and the sub-Saharan Africa. With this development, Transgreen Nigeria Limited, producers of OK Medical Face Mask, have joined the vanguard of those effectively fighting against COVID-19 and promoting health security in the country and, by extension, the world. Managing Director Cyprian Orakpo says the factory has a production capacity of 240,000 face masks daily, which he says is capable of addressing scarcity in the country.
The firmness of the nose stick, okay, some masks have it, but this is a special nose stick that when you wear it and you press it on your nose, the upper nose, you can wear your glasses without the glass being fogged.
Impressed by the initiative, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu promised the state government's support.
For me, it is a confirmation of what we stand for in government. It's a confirmation of what we believe in the government of Lagos State. And what is this? Let us be a catalyst for businesses to thrive.
He followed procedure. He was compliant.
The samples for this product was sent to the lab on 20th of July. And today is 30th of July. And the product has already gotten an approval.
It's a project that we so much cherish. We are so much proud of him.
Donations of the face mask were made to the Lagos State government and other organizations. Transgreen Nigeria Limited will soon begin production of respirators, ventilators, PPEs, hand gloves, and more. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports with Kene shortly after this break. Please stay tuned.
You see, as I talk to you plenty now, because I get glow too, that make me talk. Please, I be not be so. All right. Don't be say I won't talk plenty. Una no say I know they lie. You see this glow? If you get them, una no go even una go just they talk they go because it's not there.
Enjoy international calls from as low as 40 kobo per second from Nigeria to the world. Call your loved ones today.
Thank you, my sister. You do well, eh?
Glow Unlimited.
Baraka Salah from the Federal Road Safety Corps.
On behalf of the Federal Road Safety Corps, I congratulate all Muslim faithfuls on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration.
The presidency has eased the lockdown and we anticipate increased travels this coming holidays.
I wish to respectfully remind you to be safety conscious as you travel to celebrate.
Ensure your vehicles are in good conditions before setting out and please do not overspeed. All public buses, taxis and tricycles must travel at 50% capacity and drivers are to ensure passengers wear face masks. Commercial transporters do not use air conditioner in your vehicles to allow for free flow of air. Report any driver that violates these guidelines.
Yes, wishing you all a happy celebration and safe travels. Baraka de Salah.
In case of road crash, call toll-free lines.
Announcer BC Kazim, Assistant Corps Marshal, Corps Public Education Officer, FRSC.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, is inviting the reporting financial entities to a 2-day sensitization engagement with a view to educating them. Day 1, Tuesday, 4th August 2020. Opening session between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and technical session 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with participation from regulatory authorities, Governor of CBN, DGSEC, Commissioner of NICON and Director NFIU, Chief Executive of Financial Institutions, relevant compliance officers of financial institutions, relevant task practitioners. Day 2, Wednesday, 5th August 2020. Technical session 2 between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with participation from relevant compliance officers of financial institutions, relevant task practitioners. Participating organizations are required to forward the list of participants to aeoi.seminar@firs.gov.ng in the following format. The reporting financial institutions will be expected to file their first report by 30th September 2020. Signed, Muhammad Nani, Executive Chairman.
Improved household hygiene is essential to keep your family safe. Did you know that the sodium hypochlorite, the active ingredient in hypo bleach, is equipped to fight viruses and germs? Add some bleach to water, soak a clean napkin in diluted bleach and wipe off germs from common contact surfaces. Wipe off with hypo. Disinfect your home with hypo bleach at only 25 naira per sachet.
We don't wait tire. Now it don't shell. See as then they go to the left, to the right. The defender stand down for ground. Go fight to conquer. Plenty things full ground for you. He not the sweepers like this, oh. No feeling be like this at all. To conquer excitement inside football action. Live sports for GoTV. Enjoyment nothing sweet past to watch. Connect live action for La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, and WWE. As they hot, it don't settle. Get GoTV today for 9,200 naira. Where they come with 1 month GoTV Max subscription to enjoy correct sports with the super sports. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, it is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Welcome back. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum describes the attack on his convoy in Baga, a commercial town in Kukawa local government, as unfortunate. The governor stated this while briefing newsmen at the end of his official engagement in Northern Borno. Mohammed Goni reports.
Just like every other destroyed community visited, Baga is a ghost of itself. What makes Baga different from other settlements visited was closure of the substantial part of the township by the military operatives. Professor Babagana Umara insisted that the town should not continue to remain closed while the army stations itself at mile 4. The gate was open and the entourage escorted by the army went into the township to assess damages. After a few meters walk, the sporadic shootings started from every direction, creating pandemonium amongst the entourage. On returning to the military base in Mile 4, Governor Babagana Umara expressed anger over the incident, insisting that with over 1,200 military officers and men with a base at Mile 4, they should not allow a handful of Boko Haram insurgents to take over Baga town.
The issue is not about the president. He has done well. The soldiers are on the ground. The equipment are on the ground. They couldn't occupy the town for the last 1 year.
The commander of the Baga military formation, however, stressed that there was no Boko Haram insurgents in Baga except few elements who come to the ravaged community once in a while. Addressing officers and men of the Operation Lafia Dole in Mile 4, Professor Babagana Umara appreciated their sacrifice to rid the area of terrorism. He equally assured them of continued support from the Borno state government to the ongoing counter-insurgency operations. Until it was dislodged by the Boko Haram insurgents, Baga Fish Market on the shores of Lake Chad provided means of livelihood to over 1 million people of the region and beyond. Governor Babagana Umara believes that the only way to end the insurgency is to allow people access to their livelihoods, hence the emphasis on reconstruction and resettlement. From Baga town in Kukawa local government, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
2 people were seriously injured following the explosion of a dynamite left by a gang of armed robbers who attacked Okeho branch of First Bank, Kajola local government in Oyo State this Thursday. The State Police Commissioner Wachuku Enwonsu was at the scene of the incident when the explosion occurred. The police team had noticed the dynamite and warned the public to stay off, but agitated youths were adamant before the explosion went off. The victims include one of the youths in the town who had one of his legs amputated and a policeman who was also injured. Both victims have been taken to the hospital for treatment. In the meantime, an 18-seater bus operated by the gang of the robbers had an accident and went into flames, killing 3 of the robbers, with 2 of them arrested. The State Police Commissioner assured people of the state that others at large will be arrested. Now, Kogi State Commissioner of Police, Ede Ayuba, has ordered a full-scale investigation into the gruesome killing of 14 people in Abudu community, Kogi local government area. Solomon Ayedeyin reports that the command has similarly dispatched a special squad on manhunt for the perpetrators of the act.
Highway robbery, banditry, and kidnapping on the Okene and Lokoja roads leading to Abuja, as well as other violent criminal activities in rural communities recently in Kogi State, have become very worrisome, with the latest in Agbodu community, a suburb in Kotonkarfe, by unknown gunmen.
Yes, 14 people were killed and about 6 others were fatally injured, 13 are one family. Already we have mapped out our own operation order. Everybody has been allocated his own beat, and we are going to make sure that we follow the operation order to the letter, and that no person will be allowed to allow his own area to be used as the venue for kidnapping or for robbery.
Meanwhile, Kogi State Police Command has paraded 23 suspected criminals arrested in some parts of the state for criminal offenses such as kidnapping, armed robbery, illegal possession of firearms, cattle rustling, impersonation, cars and motorcycle snatching, and act of rituals with possession of human skull. All the suspects are to be arraigned in court for prosecution on completion of investigation. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Still on security matters, some agrarian communities in Nigeria will experience better monitoring and patrols by men of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The provision of motorcycles is to turn the tide against the poachers and other criminal elements in these areas. Aliyu reports.
We are determined to guarantee food security in Nigeria.
Tagged agro ranchers. The Corps has trained and equipped its personnel to combat crime in agrarian areas. The Commandant General believes the agro-rangers will be major game changers in ensuring food security.
The agro-rangers will be able to go to the nook and crannies of the states and make sure that they perform their duty. Like in Borno today, our agro-rangers unit accompany the farmers to the farm every day. 6 a.m. they go to the farm with the farmers and close by 6 p.m. every day. And now most of the farmers in the liberated areas have gone back to their farms. So we are very serious about guaranteeing food security in Nigeria.
5,000 men and women of the Corps have been taken through various training and equipped with modern security strategies. The agro-rangers are expected to operate closely with farmers and establish communication channels in times of distress. In Abuja, Aliu Rabaliu, NTA News.
Let's go to other matters now. The emergence of COVID-19 has amplified trafficking dangers with the use of internet to lure vulnerable women and girls into modern slavery, prostitution and false fostering. Migration experts are recommending stiffer laws to curb the heinous act. Elizabeth Omori in this report takes a look at the challenges of ending trafficking in persons.
Multiple researches show that human trafficking is the second largest and fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world.
People are taken abroad for some kind of job promises. The end of it all is not what they think is the outcome.
The parent, they should not be blaming the government for everything. Parents should train their children well.
Statistics by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, reveal that since 2003, 16,200 persons have been rescued, over 6,800 rehabilitated, 3 already employed by the agency, while 429 traffickers have been prosecuted. These successes were recorded following several initiatives, such as the establishment of a sexual and gender-based violence unit in June this year and launching of a sexual offenders register in November last year.
Ensure that victims are protected and have access to social benefits and health care.
We equally call on employers and others in strategic sector to apply and consult with the register before offering employment to persons who have suspicious backgrounds.
To stop trafficking, the United Nations set aside the 30th of July to create awareness on the dangers inherent around persons who have been trafficked. This year's celebration focuses on the role of responders to identify, support, and seek justice for victims of trafficking and challenge the impunity of traffickers. Poverty, victimization, and get-quick-rich syndrome, migration experts identify as major factors promoting human trafficking. NAPTIP suggests proper parental guidance and stiffer penalty for perpetrators. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Relocation of Tank Farms from residential areas in Lagos says Nigerian Ports Authority should ensure due diligence before granting approvals. At the investigative hearing, the General Manager, Land and Asset Administration of the NPA, Yusuf Ahmed, was quick to point out that approvals to build tank farms in Kirikiri and the Ijegun areas of Lagos were not issued by the authority. He added that the Port Authority, in compliance with federal government's directive, has not issued approvals since 2008.
We had not
given any approval for any tank farm in Lagos since 2008. We are very careful in planning our lands. We take note of all the regulations before we allow developments to be done on NTA land.
Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Representative Sejus Ogun, while emphasizing the risks of tank farms in residential areas, says the committee will conduct an assessment and make recommendations.
And we don't know what safety measures we have put in place. From most of the documents we have, there are things that are not right, and we are basically just making recommendations. We will try and do a win-win.
The ad hoc committee was set up following fire incidences in Lagos, which consumed lives and property. The management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in collaboration with officials of the federal government and counsel to the NNPC, Afe Babalola Company, has saved Nigeria from losing the sum of $125 million to an international crime syndicate led by Messrs. Ramirez and Mr. Yosei Salama Tenayer and their company Samano. Last week, the media was awash with an alleged report of how Nigerian government officials and NNPC staff sold 48 million barrels of stolen crude oil in 2015. A statement by Afe Babalola Council to NNPC says, for context, as of 2015, the daily production of crude oil in Nigeria was below 1.6 million barrels. Therefore, 48 million barrels of crude oil would have been the total production capacity of the country for a whole month, stressing it was and remains simply impossible for 1 month crude oil production for the entire country to disappear without any record or trace from the shores of the country. The NNPC therefore engaged the services of critical stakeholders, including high-powered federal government presidential committee, on fact-finding trip to China, where it was discovered that Samano's claim was false, as there were no 48 million barrels of stolen Nigerian crude oil or any stolen Nigerian crude oil in any port, terminal or storage facility in China. According to revelations by the Council to NNPC and during its investigation, the DSS and Nigerian police discovered that Samano is part of a notorious crime syndicate that habitually intimidates, blackmails and defrauds government officials and other high-profile persons. The Muslim world celebrates the Eid el-Kabir today. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has joined the rest of the country to felicitate with Muslims nationwide. In the spirit of the festivities and further to earlier palliative measures rolled out by the service in support of the Nigerian taxpayers against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, the FIRS has extended the deadline for filing of returns in a number of tax categories. A public notice signed by the Executive Chairman, Mr. Muhammad Nami, reads, "The management of Federal Inland Revenue Service wishes to felicitate with Nigerians on this occasion of the Eid al-Kabir celebration and they thank the Almighty God for sparing the lives to witness yet another Salah festival, especially in this year that has been very difficult for individuals and businesses. Nonetheless, the service will continue to identify with the challenges of the times which the taxpayers are going through." You're watching NTA News. We now go for a commercial break. Do stay with us.
Expressions without words won't have it any other way. Moments will feel joy. Been lost in the moment, the freedom you will find. That's what's celebrating. Bring your moment to life.
red grape, white grape, peach variants, Valletta sparkling fruit drink. Celebrate every moment.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white cloths, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it. Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white cloths, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Win a Samsung home makeover worth 1.5 million naira weekly. Wow! In the Samsung Smile Nigeria promo, daily prizes of Samsung TVs, refrigerators, smart wristwatches, and other exciting prizes also to be won. Buy any of the Samsung smartphones or electronics to stand a chance to win. Promo runs from July 15th to August 5th, 2020. Hurry now while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to NTA Network News. Still on Salah message, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps also sends his warmest greeting to Muslim faithful as they celebrate Eid al-Kabir festival. Now, the NCDC has confirmed 404 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. The new cases recorded from 20 states indicate that Lagos again has the highest number of new infections with 106 new cases, followed by the FCT with 54. Rivers has 48 new cases, Plateau 40, Edo 29, Enugu 21, Oyo 20, while Kano has 18 new cases. Other states include Ondo 15 new cases, Ogun 10, Ebonyi 9, Ekiti 9, Kaduna 6, Cross River 5, Kwara 4, 3 for each of the neighboring Anambra and Delta, 2 each for Imo and Nasarawa, with Borno having 1 new case. Now, Joy Emeto has the rest of the update on COVID-19.
The world has seen more than 17 million coronavirus cases. 4.5 million of the number is recorded in the United States alone. Statistics provided by Worldometer as at 6 p.m. local time indicates that 672,483 fatalities from the virus have been confirmed globally, while more than 10 million have recovered. Out of these numbers, Africa accounts for 897,287 cases and 18,940 deaths. In Nigeria, 19,004 out of the 42,208 confirmed cases have been successfully treated and discharged from various isolation centers across the country. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control reports that 873 persons lost their lives. Meanwhile, the coronavirus pandemic has cast a shadow over this year's Hajj pilgrimage, which last year drew 2.5 million Muslims from across the world to Mount Arafat, where the Prophet Muhammad delivered his final sermon nearly 1,400 years ago. This year, only a very limited number of pilgrims were allowed to take part in the Hajj amid numerous restrictions to limit the potential spread of the virus. And in Brazil, that country's First Lady, Michelle Bolsonaro, has tested positive for COVID-19. The Presidential Communications Secretariat said in a statement that she appears to be in good health and will follow all existing protocols. On a sad note, Herman Cain, a 2012 Republican presidential candidate in the U.S., has died after contracting COVID-19. Cain was diagnosed with the disease in late June after attending a Tulsa, Oklahoma rally for President Donald Trump, a crowded event where many attendees were without face masks. And that's it from here. I am Joyce Ometu.
The federal government has donated equipment worth 67 million naira to Sao Tome and Principe. This follows the request by the country for assistance towards the fight against COVID-19. Haman Jabani tells us more.
The relationship between Nigeria and Sao Tome and Principe has been very cordial, especially in the areas of political and economic cooperation, which informed the establishment of the Joint Development Authority with the aim of jointly exploiting and managing the marine and hydrocarbon resources for mutual benefit of both countries. So, the request for assistance sometimes in April by the government of Sao Tome and Principe to the federal government is a move in the right direction. And to assist in the ongoing effort to mitigate the spread of coronavirus pandemic in that country, President Muhammadu Buhari approved the donation of 5 tons of medical equipment, which include units of test kits, extraction kits, infrared thermometers, and other personal protective equipment for the testing of up to 20,000 persons in the country.
Request for assistance of Nigeria for the donations of the medical equipment to help to assist in the ongoing efforts to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in the country.
We value very much the way that Nigerian authorities came to the help of the Sao Tome and Principe government as soon as we asked for this help to be provided.
We do everything in partnership, and this is a measure of the partnership we're just exhibiting today.
Sao Tome and Principe, with a population of 219,159, has 868 confirmed cases of COVID-19, with 766 recoveries and 15 deaths. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
The federal government has been evacuating nationals stranded across the globe as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Eliasu Ali Yakubu reports that 177 stranded Nigerians who migrated to Niger Republic have returned to this country safely.
With the latest arrival of 177 stranded Nigerians, these bring the total of Nigerians so far evacuated from across the globe since the commencement of the evacuation by the federal government as a result of COVID-19 to about 7,000. The returnees commended the federal government and the International Organization for Migration for the efforts.
I feel good. Coming back to Nigeria, I'm so happy because I've suffered a lot of things in the desert.
We are feel happy to come to our country.
Now I feel very happy to be home because the challenges and the stress what we pass through in that desert is not easy.
The re-engineered NEMA with the new Director General of NEMA, he responded swiftly.
The Commission, in collaboration with other relevant agencies, they will kickstart plans, to reintegrate the returnees.
This evacuation is supported by the International Organization for Migration, IOM, in collaboration with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The returnees have been subjected to profiling by the NCDC response team, and after which they will be relocated to the isolation center where they will observe the 2-week COVID-19 protocol. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Eliasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, says the returnees will be fully integrated into the society. She gave the assurance when she paid a visit to the returnees in Abuja. Ruth Aguele was there.
Their innocent minds doesn't paint a picture of their present reality. But like the slogan, "No place like home," it clearly depicts the reality for Ali Ahmed after spending 4 months in Algeria and another 4 in the Niger Republic with his family seeking greener pastures.
Duk wanda yake zaune a garinsu ba zai ga komai ba har sai ya fita. Zai ji ana ta faɗa abubuwa ko a ce ka je ƙasa kaza za ka samu kaza za ka samu kaza. No, ba haka bane ba. Kai zaman ka a ƙasar ku yafi ma alheri. Duk irin kasuwancin da kake yi ka yi shi a nan gurin. Komai kankantarsa. Saboda shi migrant gaskiya yana ganin irin abubuwa kala-kala. A duk inda suke in arzikin ka yana nan za ka je ka riske shi.
Come here, will be still better or things will still come up. there is nothing like home. That's what I say about it.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, who was represented by the Federal Commissioner for the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Senator Bashir Garba Mohammed, has come to assure the returnees of federal government's commitment towards their reintegration into the society, while taking into cognizance their rights as citizens of Nigeria.
In line with the revised quarantine protocol from the PTF COVID, please note that arrangements are in place to test you within 72 hours of your arrival.
For Ali and his co-returnees, there may be light at the end of the tunnel, with a hope of starting afresh. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
Decontamination and disinfection of all unity schools across the country are compulsory preconditions for reopening of the schools for the senior secondary school certificate examination. Minister of Environment Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar said this during a press briefing in Kaduna on preparations for the 4th August deadline for reopening of the schools, as earlier announced by government. Major Adamu reports.
With less than a week to the approved deadline for reopening of schools for students in exit classes to write their external examinations, the Minister of Environment, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, says the sanctity of health of the learners and their caregivers at all educational levels will not be compromised. He therefore announces plans by the federal government to immediately decontaminate and disinfect all unity schools across the country to guarantee the safety of the senior secondary school students as they sit for their exit examinations amid increasing cases of COVID-19 in the country. The project, the minister says, will commence in earnest after the Eid al-Kabir Salah break.
In order to ensure the minimization of exposures at the 19,000 designated examination centers, environmental health officers will mount surveillance desks meant to confirm that the preventive aspect of coronavirus protocol are adequately taken care of. It is expected that the examination halls and other facilities open for use of the candidate during the period of the examination are provided with adequate ventilation and lighting.
We are expecting to see a hitch-free exercise where all the 19,000 centers are going to be taken care of.
In Kaduna, Majama Adamu, NTA News.
Let's quickly go for another break on the network news. Stay tuned.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Welcome back. Nigerians urge Arsenal's Bukayo Saka to choose Super Eagles ahead of 3 Lions. Bade Adeleye tells us more on sports.
Despite Nigeria Football Federation's insistence that the Football House will not beg Arsenal striker Bukayo Saka to play for the Super Eagles, football-loving Nigerians say the decision to don Nigerians' jersey should not be left to the 18-year-old alone, urging the NFF to go after him.
I think in the end, Nigeria is going to get him. If we don't get him, that means we did not make enough effort. I think Bukayo Saka is either he's been influenced by his parents, or it's just a personal decision looking at where he's going to eventually get more playing time.
Saka, who was born in London to Nigerian parents, is still eligible to play for the Super Eagles despite representing England at junior levels. In basketball, all eyes will be on Toronto Raptors, who are bidding to successfully defend the NBA title as the 2019-2020 season restarts. Raptors' first game against Los Angeles Lakers looks like a daunting task, but analysts say Masao Ujiri's team are up to the task.
Masai still has a bit of his personnel still around him. Well, we still have Sejibuka, and he still has those mixtures of European players who actually made them to win the league. But one thing I must say, it'll be a tight one.
In other news, top-ranked women's tennis player Ashley Barty has announced she will not be playing in either the Western or Southern Open or the US Open due to coronavirus concerns. The Australian believes there are still significant risks involved playing at the tournaments, and she will not be putting her team in a difficult position. The 2020 US Open main draw begins on August 31. With sports update, I'm Badi Adeleye, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari sent his heartfelt condolences to the family of former Minister of Science and Technology Major General Sam Momar. In a statement by a special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari believes the former administrator, engineer and officer who distinguished himself in academics and greatly improved the intellectual capacity of the military, lived a memorable life, serving the country and humanity with all his God-given gifts. President Buhari urges family members, friends and associates to find solace in the huge investments of Major General Momar in people and institutions. He also prays for the repose of the soul of the departed. The Osun State government has announced the death of elder statesman, respected politician and national leader of the Afenifere group, Pa Ayorinde Fasomi, who passed on at the age of 94. His passing was confirmed by his first son, Justice Obafemi Fasomi, on behalf of the family. A statement by the state Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari joins Yoruba socio-cultural and political organization Afenifere in mourning the passing of Pa Ayorinde Fasomi, describing his death as a big loss to the nation. The president condoles with people and government of Osun and Ekiti State, family members, friends and associates of the elder statesman who served as a legislator in both House of Representatives and Senate, and distinguished himself politically by always standing for the truth, especially on the issues related to the uplifting of the downtrodden. President Buhari affirms that Chief Fasomi's wise counsels born out of humility, deep reflection, diligent studies and experience will be sorely missed by governments at different levels, as he regularly and willingly listened to leaders and always had a good advice on going forward. President Buhari notes with commendation that the efforts of Chief Fasomi in the founding and sustenance of Nigeria's democracy will be remembered, and posterity will be glad for his great sacrifices. The President prays that the Almighty God will receive the soul of the departed leader and comfort his family. Now, more condolences are pouring in for the demise of late Pa Fasomi. Ruth Agwele has the details.
President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has condoled with the family, friends and political associates of Pa Ayorinde Fasomi, the leader of Yoruba Socio-Cultural and Political Association, who died on Wednesday at the age of 94. Ahmad Lawan also commiserated with the government and people of Ekiti State and the Yoruba people in general over the demise of a leader whom he said throughout his life was committed to the cause of his people and Nigeria. Similarly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has expressed sadness over the demise of the leader of the Yoruba Socio-Cultural Group, Afenifere, Pa Ayo Fasomi, who was also a former federal legislator in the First and Second Republics. The Speaker said, though the demise of the late patriot would be felt by the nation, the progressives, and his family, solace would, however, be taken in the fact that his footprints have been firmly entrenched in the sands of time. He prayed God to grant him eternal rest. In the same vein, the All Progressives Congress has also expressed condolences to the immediate family, the government and people of Ekiti and Ondo states, and the Yoruba nation at large, and pray for the fortitude to bear the loss. The APC added that Yorubas and indeed the nation at large have lost a father to all. Elder statesman, welfarist, Second Republic senator and frontline politician whose indelible strides will be forever remembered. Similarly, former interim national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief B.C. Akonde, has described the passing of Pa Ayorinde Fasomi as a great loss to the Yoruba nation and Nigeria as a whole. Chief Akonde acknowledged that Pa Fasomi was a consistent champion of democracy and good governance, which he pursued till he breathed his last. Chief Akonde prayed God to grant him eternal rest and give the family, friends and political associates fortitude to bear the irreparable loss.
That's the network news on the NTA tonight. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kenneth Ima Abodike. Do have a good night.